Boys, welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna be talking about video game and toxicity in video games, right? Basically, cause I noticed some of the day in the COD lobby. You me are talking to Kevin. I'm talking you, Kevin. Some of you were in the COD lobbies and you were telling little dudes about their moms, man. I'm for sure know that you niggas were out there. No, bro. 3 seconds in, and you already hear someone.
Because the fucking youth is just. You shut up when I'm talking to you. You shut your mouth.
You see, that's the thing. Toxicity in video game was just so funny to watch, and because like, as a dude, right? 11 seconds, and I'm already here off topic. As a dude, right? When you play a video game, you play to like basically escape. You play to release stress, to release steam. So when you're shouting at other people on your comms, especially like if they're playing bad or if you're winning, you're being toxic. Especially when you're being toxic, you're just enjoying yourself. Like I feel like that's how dudes in the past now, because some of these niggas be bitches, but dudes in the past, yeah, they know how to enjoy themselves, because that's how I would see myself enjoying myself, right? It's basically like if you watch Fight Club as a dude, you'll understand why Fight Club was made and why it was just so entertaining to beat the shit out of each other. At least to me, I saw the entertainment in it.
Wait, just fucking do damage. Swap characters.
Talk about other
Something.
people, but
Wait,
as soon as
play Mercy. Pocket of Farah. They don't have a hit scan. Do something.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should kill yourself now.
Oh my God. I love how he said that.
I want you to die. I want you to just not exist. You are another fucking loser.
Alright, wait, no, but if you're looking at it, right, I feel like the person who is being toxic is the person who's losing. And I can understand that, because look how I beat the man. Like, I'm pretty sure he... Oh, look at his name. Mike Trollinsky. Of course. Of course.
Let's go.
Shut your bitch ass up, nigga.
What? That's how it is, bro. Like, fucking... This is the funny shit. Video games. Why? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I can imagine this being a COD lobby.
Video games are a great form of escapism used by many people in today's world. If you could transport yourself into a reality where you could do anything, would you not?
Doom, Dark Age, guys, we're gonna be playing that game. Like, I need to play that game. I need to also finish Doom 1 though. Shit though.
Games are a safe space. A place you can go to forget about the rest of the world and just have fun. While that is still mostly true in most games, many others are not as welcoming.
It's a gooner game. ZZZ or Weathering Wave.
For
It's one of them.
instance, I play Call of Duty from time to time, and some of the weapons I choose are not well liked by the general player base. On many occurrences, I would be insulted.
You see, I'm pretty sure he laughed a while ago. You can hear he laughed. He enjoyed the toxicity in video games.
Or even told to stop living just for choosing the wrong gun. Sure, to me this kind of thing is not a huge deal, and it's
funny.
quite common. But some others are understandably upset when things like this happen, and it may even push them away from a hobby they love. This kind of thing is not limited to just...
That's retarded if you make like someone else, yeah, hinder your fun that much to like stop playing the game. Then you probably should just play single player games, bro. Stop being a bitch. Come on, stop being
Call of Duty, but many different
game.
games and communities have the same issue. In the gaming world, this trend is, as you probably know, toxicity, and it is seemingly on the rise. According to researcher Luke Munn, while the definitions of toxic vary, toxic behavior is generally considered an umbrella term used for a wide variety of negative activities that abuse other players, violate rules, or break social norms.
And that's the thing, like with the social norms and the abuse of other players, to violate the rules, I understand, right? But like, if someone's just cussing at you, I don't feel like that's that big of a deal. If they start to dox you, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If they're killing you over and over, like, let's say you're playing Mortal Kombat and they're just doing a stupid jump move and you keep getting hit by it, at some point, are you stupid? Because she's doing the same move over and over. Why are you getting hit by it?
In other words, toxicity is when someone goes out of their way to make someone else's experience worse. This can be something small like teabagging, or big
That's funny. That's funny.
like sending death threats. With this issue continuing
don't
to grow,
send it
that
threats.
leads to what I'm going to talk about today. What kinds of games attract toxic communities? Or does the
Multiplayers.
game even matter? Will people always be toxic no matter what? We'll touch more on
You can only attract toxic players unless you're talking like a community on whole, and everywhere has a toxicity. Every community have a toxicity problem. But anyway, if you're talking in video games, you can only attract toxic players in fucking multiplayer games, because like that's the only player to player. That's the only reason they would be toxic, because there are other players around. You get what I'm saying?
that later. Not every game has this issue. Some games have it slightly, and others are notorious for their bad communities. There has to be some kind of logic behind what games foster toxic communities. To help answer this question, I have decided to turn towards one of the biggest platforms for gaming conversations out there,
Reddit.
Reddit. I know, Reddit doesn't exactly
He's not wrong. Where else would you find the information?
have the greatest reputation out there, but it is hard to deny the invaluable information it can provide by offering a one-stop shop to find all the comments on toxicity I will ever need for this. During my time looking through many different subreddits for patterns, I found a few different traits in games that could be what is causing this toxicity between communities. The first of which being... The most widespread of these traits was simply when players were able to talk to each other directly in-game. And that's really no
Because they can talk to each other. What do you mean, bro?
surprise. If you give people free will to say whatever they want,
They will say what they
in certain
want.
scenarios, they will take that.
You need to fucking go kill yourself, you fucking ungrateful piece of shit.
In r/Dead by Daylight, one user wrote,
As a new player, other players are way too toxic, so I started playing this game a week ago. At this time, I may have 20-ish hours on the game. I was really enjoying the game, really, until, after a couple of win streak is killer, I started to play against more experienced teams of survivors, and they started to become really toxic in the after-game chat, and mostly when they were the ones winning. Learn to play. You are effing trash. Quit the game, bro. I was able to get a lot of those negative message and comments, and to be honest, it's already working. It's making me lose my interest in this game, and don't really feel like rebooting it now.
in a different
See what I mean? If you're making someone else ruin your fun in the video games, fucking just stop playing. Because these are things you can just ignore. Like they say sticks and stones may make you brown, but words can never hurt me. That is a true term for real. Like the words cannot physically hurt you. You can indeed ignore that. It's really not that hard. You see, you read it, you say, oh, well, you're fucking dumb, and then you move on.
League of Legends thread asking, is this player base really so toxic? Someone was able to reply,
I was once called a semi...
And like, no, like, here's the next thing. Like, if you were playing on a team too, and your teammates are being toxic towards you, you can just fuck them over, because, like, why are you being such bitches about it? Like, let me play the fucking game, bro. If you want to win that bad, then I'm going to make you lose.
My sentient comes sock for playing as your top. To this day, I still wonder what he meant by that.
and in
Wait, what?
r/Overwatch, some even believe that this toxicity is hurting the game significantly, more than it ever was before.
Increase
Bitches.
of toxicity since Overwatch 2.
Stop
I'm really
being
sad,
toxic
since
in
in
chat.
Overwatch 2 I experienced so much more toxicity in the game. In just one day I had more toxic players in my chat than in my whole Overwatch 1 era. Don't be a toxic asshole and let's keep our game as fun, nice and sane as possible. I wish everyone a good match at the start of the game. Let's have fun again. TLDR, stop being toxic in chat.
This issue goes beyond games that let you text whatever you want. Take Clash Royale, for instance, which only has preset options of things you can say in emote mid-match. One user stated in the Clash Royale subreddit,
This game has the most toxic player base of any game I've played. I've played Clash Royale for years and I haven't played a game with a more toxic player base. Every time I lose, I met with yawns, laughs, and good lucks from my opponent. How hard is it to say, good game, and leave? How hard is it to just not emote? I understand feeling good after a hard win or laughing IRL because it was an easy win, but you have to be a toxic person to insult or laugh at someone unprovoked.
You see what I mean? Like, isn't this just a bitch? Isn't this just a bitch? It's like the yawn, laugh, good luck. Yeah, you know what that means because you've been in their game long enough, so you know that they're saying yawn probably easy, you know? Easy win, trash players, basically. Laugh. They're laughing at you, and good luck. It's in hyphen because they know they're going to beat your asses anyway, right? Now, you know what all of these mean. I don't play Clash Royale. I literally just inferred what all of this means, right? Why are you letting them affect you? Just bro, Like really? Really? You're complaining about the emotes?
And that's exactly
Even
what
though
this
they're...
community does. I know it's not the most toxic player base ever, but it is still way too toxic.
It seems that even this simple kind of communication is fostering a terrible toxic environment.
So it's a PvP
and honestly,
environment.
having an in-game chat is an innocent enough idea. Many games need features like this. It's just part of the game. Really though, these chats open doors for people to be harmful to those they don't even know. It's just so easy. Even when only given limited options on how to communicate, players will still find effective ways to be toxic to others.
Can they even do that in the game? Like, those combos were pretty cool.
This drives me to believe something as simple as an in-game chat could end up pushing a game's player base into extreme toxicity.
Look at that.
Now, going back to my original Call of Duty statement, I was playing in the wrong way according to many people. What I was doing, it wasn't acceptable. It was outside of what other people wanted, what maybe they were even used to. What the wrong way is varies from game to game, but it generally relates to a playstyle that is seen as boring, too strong, or even just annoying. Things seen as the wrong way can be as simple as choosing a gun that someone else doesn't like. That can relate to characters too. In both r/Dead by Daylight and r/Overwatch, I found tier lists that rank playable characters based on how toxic people that play them are. This blatantly relates how bad a person is to their character, with very little room for interpretation. Obviously, this kinda sucks.
Subjective.
Many people play many different things, and putting them all in a group doesn't make much sense, but that's the mentality built. In a similar vein, over in the subreddit for PvZ Heroes, a card game based off the very popular Plants vs. Zombies Tower Defense.
Why are we still making Plants vs. Zombies game? Who plays these anymore? Come on. Get the fuck on.
There were a ton of posts criticizing players for using cards that some other players really don't like. Here's one post about a card that someone believes to be pretty toxic, I'd say.
Let's see this dumb shit.
The card's called Quarterly Bonus, and, well, to say the least, it's not well liked.
Strength of a zombie becomes 4, then it does bonus damage. Add 4 strength, and then a random zombie does a bonus attack. What?
So he decided to say this.
If you use Quarterly Bonus, believe it or not, hell is coming for you. I quite literally don't even have the willpower to use profanity right now, but this disabled monkey used this fraudulent card 3 times. Don't even comment on me having heal either, because playing plants is a death wish. Plants actually require brainpower to use and win with. Zombies, on the other hand, is just play like a loser-ass coward and spam the most insanely broken cards ever without 0 consequences.
Is he like, he's being a little bitch? Because he lost. In my opinion.
Zombies have never struggled a day in their lives, and you can't tell me otherwise.
You know, it's a pretty intense way to look at things,
right?
But I guess to each their own opinions. But these 3 posts all clearly show that something as simple as differing choices in how players wish to play the game can foster a lot of toxicity between them. This may sound a bit weird, but this gaming phenomena actually might root back to some tribalist wiring in humans. This tribalist mentality being, of course,
what game is that?
Humans tend to form groups around those similar to themselves.
Someone tell me what game is that?
Differently away. This is interesting because it seems to trigger in something as minor as character selection in a video game. In the grand scheme of things, it's not exactly an important choice. The fact that there are multiple different options to play means that there are options that you aren't playing. Because of that, players are subconsciously dividing themselves into groups, making it far easier to be toxic to the other groups. This is especially apparent in the Plants vs. Zombies example, where the poster mentions just how much easier the zombie group has it, and why that means they'll burn in hell. They obviously have the us versus them mentality to collect the other side together and, in a way, see them as the enemy.
They're just bitches. That's it.
That must be attacked. Us plants, well, we're the good guys.
We have to defend the zombies.
They aren't me. And that means they're evil. It's a good thing nothing like that would ever transfer over into the real world. Guys,
if only... Wait, what? Elephant?
Competitive gaming.
This is where the best toxicity comes from.
Games. In r/True Gaming, under the post, a discussion about toxicity and online gaming, someone replies,
I personally think it's not exactly the competitiveness of a game that causes said problem, but more specifically how people's self-worth gets tied to their performance, and especially something as easily quantifiable as rank. I don't think it's uncommon to find people who like games exclusively when they're winning, and a lot of the friends I have who are toxic in games are insecure in their rank and don't especially have other parts of life they emotionally gain stuff from. And if your self-worth is tied to how you perform in game, you likely become way more toxic, as accepting blame for a mistake becomes accepting that you're a bad person.
And yeah, people do take gaming very seriously now.
What? That's just fucker, man. They're just bitches. You see, my overarching point right now is toxicity in gaming. If you're affected by it or if you do it, you're just a bitch. It's just play the game normal. It's fine. It's fine.
It's almost like people
There's no need to tell little Timmy that his mom's a little bitch. He knows that already. You don't have to remind him every day, bro. Just stop. It's fine. Get some help.
have completely forgotten that they're supposed to be playing these games for fun. Dead by Daylight has very little to push players to take it seriously. It doesn't even have a ranked mode, which is pretty standard in the modern gaming era. However, people don't see it that way. This meme right here emphasizes that. And also how the
entire community telling me it's a sweaty team-based competitive game. Me thinking D by D is a casual for fun horror game. How is it a competitive game? How is it a competitive team? It's not. Why are they like this?
The community has turned it into something it was never meant to be. Due to the way games are perceived now, the game has
Do they have an esport for Dead by Daylight? Am I missing something?
become competitive all on its own. People end up putting far too much value on how well they can perform. This issue only gets worse when looking at games that are strictly more competitive. Games like Overwatch have built-in competitive modes that amplify this effect, causing people to put more and more self-worth into their own skills and rank. This culminates in hurt feelings when losing, and the feeling of superiority when winning, both of which are easy ways to fall into toxicity.
He said easy. He said easy.
Almost all games have some hint of competition, making this one of the hardest forms of toxicity to get rid of.
No.
Now to look at one of the biggest
To
elephants
me.
in the room. No, not you again, the other one. Does the game even matter?
Is this
Or will
Doom
people
Dark Ages?
always just be toxic
Shit, we
whenever
gotta
given the
play this
opportunity?
game,
The
bro.
online disinhibition effect theory proposes that in anonymous online environments, people feel less restrained to do or say things they usually wouldn't do.
You
Or
see, and also because of this whole online whatever theory, you can get like more better conversations from people from other cultures. Like you can basically ask them whatever you want, and like you could probably get a better answer than like whatever you see on the news or whatever. So that's why gaming is also a good environment to foster friendships and understanding of different cultures and stuff like that. But it's also very toxic. But I think the toxicity is always funny.
say
Like I
in a
laugh.
face-to-face world. On the internet, there is always a sense that people feel nothing they do is real. There won't be consequences. It won't be linked back to them. And that means they can do whatever they want. People often are not really that toxic when around friends. But instead, people are likely to be toxic to strangers
I'm always toxic,
who they will
bro.
never have to interact with again.
Like my
There's a
mouth
chance that
just
this
be
will
talking about the randomest shit.
cause toxic players
And when I play a game online, maybe it's because I don't have my mic on, but I'm always spitting shit, bro. Cause like, what the fuck?
to always find an opportunity to be toxic and take it. However, I think it's quite cynical to leave it at that. Yes, there will always be some toxic people. There are toxic people in real life too.
Which
That
game
doesn't mean that the kind of game
What game is
doesn't
this?
matter. Most people don't go into video games with the sole purpose of being
Oh, it's
toxic.
infamous. I
It
already
can be
beat
the
this.
circumstances of the game that drive them to act in a certain way. I believe that while games without these traits might have toxicity, it will be far lower than games with all three. So, in a way, there will always be toxic people. But that simply isn't everyone. It's not you, right?
Yes, it is.
Right?
It's me.
While
I'm
I do
100%
believe these
toxic.
traits help foster toxic communities.
All my friends are toxic. I don't know why I said
I
that.
also believe it is important to take a look and see if there are ways to fix them. When looking at the first set of posts talking about in-game chatting, it makes it clear that this issue will be a hard one to solve. This is a case that is fairly constant throughout gaming. When given the opportunity to say whatever they want,
They will.
gamers tend to abuse that. This leads to the biggest form of toxicity in the space being difficult to snuff out. Sure, it's bad that these things can happen, but in many cases, communication is important and can even lead to many good connections. One big connection with all these posts is that they all show that people feel too free to put others down. A good way to combat this might be by setting up an expectation that games will fight toxicity and take appropriate actions against reported accounts. This should make it so that players are de-incentivized to say whatever they want just because they can, and they actually have to think before they say something toxic. Or, they do talk and they're thrown into the sun. Either way, the toxicity should decrease. The next group of
I mean, if the company is proactive on the reports, yeah, but then again, people. You see, that's a double-edged sword, right? If the company are proactive on the reports, they, not ban, suspend people or whatever, right? And maybe you get banned if it's more than 3 times. But you also have toxic people who would report people for no reason. You get what I'm saying? Like, people could still be toxic and use that system to fuck people over.
Posts that discuss wrong ways of playing games seems to hinge on something more controllable, that being the game design. While yes, people will always be irrationally mad at something, developers can try to combat this toxicity by making annoying strategies more interactive. Maybe characters that are found to be annoying should be re-examined and tweaked to decrease the
No, I think this is just people being bitches. Leave the game how it is.
annoying aspects
Shut
while
the fuck up.
increasing the fun ones.
If someone
Another
wants to play a certain way, why is it bothering you? It's a competitive game, sure, but you might not even lose. Remember, you know that one guy from that one streamer from League of Legends that plays that one way when he destroys the minions or something, and then he will win, even though I don't remember his name, Bosch or something. Like, he has a unorthodox playstyle, and he's a pro gamer. He's a fucking popular streamer too. Like, you don't have to play the game how everybody wants you to play. You're the one playing. Enjoy yourself. What the fuck, everybody
game
else,
design
bro?
that could be helpful is encouraging good behavior. Games like Overwatch have tried introducing endorsement systems to give good sports some bonus rewards. Hopefully, changes like these can minimize the us versus them mentality. It's worth noting that many of these posts can be traced back to the very competitive nature of games today. Everyone is pushed to see victory as above all else, which causes losers to be toxic and make excuses, while winners act toxic and ride their superiority. Ranked modes in games make players see their rank as a status symbol. If they can't get the rank they want, they get angry. I see this as one of the many driving factors of toxicity today. Across the board, there needs to be much less of a focus on making games ultra competitive and more reverted back to fun, the way things really should be. While I do believe these traits help grow toxic communities, it's hard to call them bad. These traits have been a part of games I've loved for years, and I will continue to love them. My point is to identify these traits so that maybe we'll be able to evolve them in a way that makes people more happy. After all, maybe kids growing up hearing people telling them to kill themselves is in fact
bad.
not based. It's a crazy thought, but it might just be true.
Yeah.
So try to be nice to each other. Just don't be toxic.
Oh.
For most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to
I will never play this Plants vs. Zombie games. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. What do you think about toxicity in video games? This was a great video, by the way. You should like it. Oh, shit, this dude only has like 138 subscribers. We should, if you watch this one, you should come. If you made it this far, like and comment and subscribe on mine if you want. And you can subscribe to this dude, because he has he has less than me, which is weird. Like, I've never seen anybody have less subscribers than me. But anyway, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. As I said before, this is me. I'm gonna go do stuff. Yeah.